Hi everybody and happy Monday. Welcome to day one of our 5-day coaching sneak peek. My name is Camilla Hunt and I am a Diamond Beachbody coach. I've been coaching for nearly 3 years now. And the purpose of this whole group is to just give you a better understanding and a better idea of what Beachbody coaching entails. Now I know that you may see some other coaches, or fitness enthusiasts who are drinking this Shakeology, or maybe you don't yet, but what I'm hoping to get out of this group is that you have a great understanding of what we do as coaches and to see if it actually fits into your life and it would be something that you would like to do. So I came to Beachbody almost 3 years ago. I actually didn't know that this company existed. So rewind a little bit. In 2009, after I gave birth to my son in 2008, and then got newly engaged, I was like, okay, it's time for me to lose some weight. And my coworker at the place that I was at the time was like, you should try P90X. I think you'd really like it. And he was like super ripped, and I was just like, cool, I think it would be really great if my husband and I did that. And we had like a condo, I actually got the DVDs burned. Ooh, yeah, I know, right? They were burned copies, but I fell in love with home fitness at that point. I was in our condo and had the door open into the hallway, like the community hallway, just like doing pull-ups, and it was just amazing. So I didn't know that Beachbody was around back then. So fast forward to having my daughter in 2011, I was like, okay, I gained all this weight. I was, both pregnancies, I gained about 85 pounds. I was about 215, 220 by the time it was time to give birth. When I came home from the hospital, I was about 195 pounds. And then when, about 3 months in, I got down to like 175, but I was still extremely overweight. I had a lot of pain in my joints, and I was just really unhappy with where I was at mentally and physically, and I knew I had to make a change. So in 2011, I rallied up a bunch of girlfriends, another family friend who was in the same situation as I was, who had given birth a couple of days later, and I was like, let's try this CrossFit gym. So we went to CrossFit San Leandro, and it was just a really great community. I ended up staying there for maybe 3 years, and I got in really great shape, but I was at a point where I was outside of the house more often than I was at home, and I was paying a lot in my membership because of course my husband loved it too. So we were paying 2 CrossFit dues per month, and it's really expensive. If you Google your CrossFit gyms in your area, it's not like a $30, $20, even $50 24-hour fitness membership. It's really expensive, and it was getting me out of the house, so I thought that there would be some other ways. I got in really great shape with CrossFit, but then I was like, okay, what can I do now to push my body to the next level? And that for me was like, I was looking at all these people on Instagram and their sparkly bikinis and their clear heels, and I was like, I can do that. I'm gonna be a bikini competitor. So I paid for a coach, a virtual coach, and it was not cheap. I paid for a virtual coach. I bought the heels and I still have them to this day to lock me in and make it more real. And I trained for about 6 to 7 months with this virtual coach. Mind you, I never had face-to-face contact with her, like Zoom calls or anything like that. I never even got on the phone with her. All my interactions were virtually. And I drove myself into the ground. I was at the gym about 4:30 every morning because that was really important for me to get my workouts in the morning when nobody is demanding your time. I had little kids at home, and I was taking fat burners. I was just in a really unhealthy mental state because I was so obsessed with what I was putting in my mouth, how much I was working out. I was doing double days. I was not eating. When I did eat, I would binge, and then it was awful. my turning point was I was at a restaurant with my husband, and I was eating about every 3 hours at that point on this prep meal plan thing. And we were at a restaurant, and I was like, honey, I'm 5 hours not eating, like I'm really hungry, and I blacked out. I blacked out on our way to the restaurant, scared the crap out of me, scared the crap out of my husband, and I was like, no more. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. There has to be an easier way to get in shape, and there has to be a better way, a more healthy way of getting in shape. So after I quit the bikini prep, I just felt like a complete failure. I was like, I announced it on Instagram that I was doing this crazy thing, and everyone was congratulating me on this decision. What are they going to think now that I've quit? And I let all of these like preconceived opinions get to me, and I was binging. I developed an eating disorder. I developed bulimia during this time because I would just like eat for feeling and then feel so guilty about it, I would purge. And I ballooned about 25 pounds in at least a month and a half. And I was just like, why did I do this? You know, and there has to be something better. There has to be some support out there that is better than this. I don't know exactly how I stumbled upon my now coach and mentor's Instagram, but I looked, probably a hashtag, I found my mentor Rob on Instagram, and he was doing something called the Ultimate Reset. And I did some research on it, and it was pretty much a detox where you're eating whole foods for 3 weeks with supplements and lots of water. And it felt like a really profound and innovative and efficient and healthy way to kind of just detox what I've done to my body after I failed at bikini competition prep. So I picked it up, I started talking to him, and throughout that 21 days, he was the biggest cheerleader for me. He was rallying around me to just get it done. He was kind of like my saving grace at that point. And I was like, wow, like here I was paying an arm and a leg for a bikini competitor coach who would take a week at a time to respond to an email if I had a question. God forbid I had a question. And it would take forever for her to get to me. And here is one guy who I've never even met yet, and he is so invested in my success in this program. And so as soon as I finished, I was like, now what? What do I do now? And he talked to me about coaching. And at that point, I was just hooked because I knew there was this opportunity to pay it forward and be that person for somebody else. And so ever since then, I took this opportunity and I ran with it. And the people that I have met have been so profound in my life that I can't even fathom not doing this, honestly, because of that dark time. And I always remind myself of that dark time. Do you remember how much of a failure you felt? And do you remember like just the agony and the darkness that you were in? And so the purpose of me telling you this is because everyone has a story, and it's up to us as coaches to shine a light and be a light, a beacon of light in somebody's life who has lost themselves due to babies, or has lost themselves due to an illness or stress or anything that happens in our life. So coaching is that for me. We are motivators, we are cheerleaders, and we are influences in other people's life. Do you have to be a nutritionist? No, you don't. I'm not a nutritionist. Do you have to be a personal trainer or have, you know, a CPT or any of those actual accolades or certifications? No, you don't. There are no prerequisites. You don't have to be a professional. You just have to have a willingness to help and a genuine willingness to see others succeed. And that's really all you need to really go far and form those relationships. So what I really hope to get out of these 5 days is that you guys just keep a very open mind to the opportunity ahead of you. So tomorrow we will be talking about common questions and misconceptions over Beachbody coaching, and if you have any questions, I'm very sure they will be answered in the coming days, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Later!